What's the real value of having a fully paid-off mortgage in retirement? Is it the ultimate financial goal, or could it actually be holding you back? And here's an even bigger question. Should you even own a home in retirement, or would renting be the smarter move? These are some of the biggest financial decisions retirees face, and today, we're going to break them all down in a way that makes sense, no matter where you are in your retirement planning. We're not just talking numbers, we're talking about freedom, peace of mind, and making the best choice for your future self. Because while conventional wisdom says you should aim to be mortgage-free by the time you retire, that may not actually be the best strategy for everyone. Stick around, because the final reason on this list is the most compelling of all, and it has absolutely nothing to do with money. But before we dive in, take a second to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. At Benefit Genius, we break down the biggest financial decisions so you can maximize your money and live a stress-free retirement. Alright, let's get started. Now, there are two main ways people look at their homes in retirement. The first is purely from a financial standpoint, just another asset that needs to be managed wisely. The second is much more emotional. For many people, their home isn't just a piece of real estate, it's their sanctuary. It's where they raised their kids, built memories, and spent years making it their own. That's why deciding what to do with your home in retirement isn't just about crunching numbers, it's about how you want to live in this next phase of life. So today, we're going to start by breaking down the financial side first. Then, at the end, we'll talk about the emotional factors, because for some retirees, that's actually the biggest part of this entire discussion. So let's talk about the traditional approach to homeownership in retirement. Most people follow one of two models. In the first model, you enter retirement with a mortgage, which means you still have monthly payments to make, along with real estate taxes, maintenance costs, and utilities. In the second model, you enter retirement with a fully paid-off home, so your only housing costs are property taxes, maintenance, and utilities, no mortgage payment hanging over your head. At first glance, the second model seems like the obvious winner, right? No mortgage, no debt, just financial freedom. But here's where things get interesting. Most conversations about this topic stop right there. They just compare these two models without looking at a third option that completely changes how we think about this decision. What if you sold your home, captured all the equity, and rented instead? Some financial experts argue that you shouldn't even count your home as part of your net worth because you still need a place to live. But the reality is, if you sell your home, you can turn that equity into liquid cash and use it in ways that might actually give you more financial freedom. So let's get into the numbers. As of 2024, the average price of a 3-bedroom home in the US is around $327,500. If you already own a home with a mortgage, your interest rate is probably somewhere between 3% and 4%. Most homeowners with existing mortgages have locked in rates closer to 3.25%. But if you were to buy a new home today, interest rates are much higher, around 6.94%. That's a huge difference. And it drastically changes your monthly payments. For an existing home with a 3.25% mortgage and a 20% down payment, the average monthly payment is around $1,140. Which adds up to about $13,683 per year. But if you were to buy a new home today with the same conditions, your monthly payment would be $1,734, adding up to about $20,808 per year. Now, let's compare that to renting. The average rental price for a 3-bedroom home in the US right now is about $2,218 per month, which adds up to around $26,616 per year. That means for many people, renting might actually cost more than owning, especially if they already have a low-interest mortgage. But we're not just comparing mortgage payments to rent. We also have to factor in property taxes, maintenance, and utilities. Property taxes on a 3-bedroom home typically cost around $3,602 per year. Maintenance costs are usually estimated at 1% of the home's value annually, so about $3,275 per year. And utilities for a 3-bedroom home average around $429 per month, which adds up to about $5,148 per year. When you add everything up, owning a home, especially if it's fully paid off, can actually be a much more affordable option compared to renting. But financial savings aren't the only factor here. There's another side to this conversation that numbers alone can't capture: flexibility. When you own a home, you're responsible for everything: repairs, taxes, insurance, and any unexpected costs that come up. But when you rent, those responsibilities shift to the landlord, and you're not tied down to one location. That means if you ever decide you want to move closer to family, downsize, or even travel full-time, renting gives you that flexibility without the hassle of selling a home. Now let's talk about why some retirees choose to pay off their mortgage before retirement, and why some choose not to. One of the biggest advantages of owning a home outright is peace of mind. You don't have to worry about mortgage payments, which means no matter what happens in the economy, your home is yours. For many retirees, that sense of security is worth more than any financial advantage. Plus, a paid-off home reduces your monthly expenses significantly. Without a mortgage payment, your biggest housing costs are property taxes, insurance, and maintenance, making it easier to live on a fixed income. And if you ever need access to cash, you can tap into your home's equity through a reverse mortgage or a home equity line of credit. But what about the downsides? One of the biggest arguments against paying off a mortgage is that it ties up a large portion of your wealth in an asset that isn't liquid. If all your money is tied up in your home, you don't have easy access to it in case of emergencies or investment opportunities. And with today's low-interest mortgage rates, for those who locked in before the recent hikes, some retirees prefer to keep a mortgage and invest their extra cash instead. Historically, the stock market has provided higher returns than the average mortgage rate, which means keeping a mortgage and investing could lead to greater overall wealth in the long run. Another key factor is inflation. As inflation rises, the cost of living increases, but if you have a fixed-rate mortgage, your payment stays the same. That means keeping a mortgage could actually work in your favor over time. So, what's the final takeaway? Is paying off your mortgage before retirement the right choice? It depends. For some, it's the best way to secure financial stability. For others, keeping a mortgage and investing their money elsewhere leads to greater financial freedom. And for some, selling and renting is the smartest move for flexibility and lifestyle goals. No matter what path you choose, the key is to run the numbers, consider your lifestyle, and make the decision that gives you the most security and peace of mind. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to Benefit Genius for more financial insights. And let us know in the comments, do you plan to pay off your mortgage before retirement, or do you have a different strategy in mind? We'd love to hear your description,